Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Constant Agitation podcast. As always, I'm your host Jimmy and joined by Eva.
Hi everyone.
How you doing?
Good. We have a loaded episode today, right?
Yeah. I hope you mean loaded in a good way
Yeah, I mean load of stuff.
to talk about, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of questions, we have a couple of news stuff about the photography world, and of course we have a photographer of the week that we're gonna look at their work and get inspired.
Mhm.
But other than that, we hope you all had a fantastic week this past week. We know we had a busy week.
Yeah, we did.
We had so many different
Crazy.
photo
What
shoots,
kind of week?
but it was a lot of fun. So hope you're also going out and having fun with your photography, maybe for work, maybe just for pleasure.
For sure.
It's nice in the summer times to be able to go out, take your camera, and do stuff with it. But yeah, what do you want to jump into first? Should we talk about the news?
Well, I think maybe first we can talk that finally the video that we said for many weeks that would be out is out, the giveaway.
Yeah.
And
we shot another one.
And we shot another one. Yeah,
We're
but
We're going to develop the film, see if it comes out, because there's a high chance that film will not work.
why?
Because, well, I don't want to give away any spoilers.
Spoilers.
But yeah, there is a high chance that film won't work. And then there's no point, sharing the footage. Hey,
It can be just
CM
us.
and Al-Walid.
Us crying. It didn't work out.
But yeah, so we did shoot a video this week,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully it works out. It was a really nice day outside.
Yeah.
And it's exciting because if it works, it's
It will
maybe
be really
one of
nice.
your favorite films
Yeah,
in
it's
a way or another.
it's something that I never thought I would actually get my hands on,
Yeah.
which is very excited. And then when I saw it, I was like, I cannot believe, is this real? Is this the one I thought it is?
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes out. But it was
get
nice.
lucky. Shout out to Bruno Bildverkstad here in Sweden. They're a really nice camera store.
But yeah, the video is out. The giveaway video is out. Our thank you video for the 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
It's been doing quite okay,
Yeah.
and we've gotten a lot of love. So
Yeah, we appreciate that
I
a lot.
appreciate a lot. Yeah.
Do you wanna tell them about our conundrum? There's not many people here. Maybe
we can do it later in the end, or
I don't know. Yeah, we'll do it later in the end because we wanted to ask you guys about your opinion on something. But we'll keep that till the end, so try to stay with us.
yes.
Hopefully
See what
we
it is.
Hopefully we won't make it
We
so
need your
boring
help,
until
yeah.
the end.
No, we're
Right.
not boring.
Hope not. So, let's jump into the news real quick,
Yeah,
right?
we can start talking about something recent.
Yeah, so Negative Supply is a company, I think in California. Yeah, it says right there.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually make these film holders that will help you, scan your film. They're very nice quality. I've never tried them myself, but I hear really good reviews about them.
Yeah.
But they're, high quality, and I think the price is also, up to the standards of the product.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a small business, so I don't think they're doing it in mass production and stuff like that. So that's the explainer for why I haven't got my hands on it. But they released a new product, or they announced a new product.
Mm-hmm.
They have it on Kickstarter, and it seems really cool. It's a light meter, as you can see in the photo that I pulled from their Instagram.
It's a sleek light meter.
It's very tiny. Like, you can't tell how tiny it is here in this picture, but I'll show you there. Look at it. It's so tiny. So if you go in now to look at it. Nice.
Whoa.
They got more backers.
Yeah.
That's cool. So if you go in now, you can still catch the early bird. This is, I think, the lowest price you can
Ever get it,
yeah, acquire one, because they have different types. So they have the LM1 aluminum flat back. I don't know what's the difference.
I think it's the
between this one
casing.
and this one.
The casing might be different. Or?
I
don't know.
Some of them have different casing. So this one is colored. It's more expensive. They also have a brass one.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a bunch of different ones. So this one is still available because in the first 72 hours, I think they announced it yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get it for this price if you pledge. Otherwise, it's going to go up, I think, to this. I don't know how Kickstarter works.
No, he says here, I don't know what that MSRP 479 means. If it's that the price that is gonna be after the Kickstarter
Yeah,
finishes.
I think that's
yeah.
how it works.
Mm.
So yeah, if you're interested, go grab one. It's a really cute light meter.
It's an incident light meter,
So
not
it's a-
reflective one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an incident light meter, and also this other hole here. No, it's not a spot meter, Bronzo. It's a. I think this is the hole for the spectrometer.
Yeah,
So it will give you light temperature reading.
as well, yeah.
This is the brass one. I think I really like this one. It's more expensive though.
It's nice. I like the
age-
green one though.
Yeah, but I like how this one will age. Like supposedly this should last you a long time,
Yes.
and it does have
Good.
this like kind of
It has a USB battery, so it's USB powered. Yeah, I mean it's a well-designed product, and I believe that Negative Supply is not gonna put out something that won't work properly.
yeah.
Especially with the amount of the research and development. They have a big team, and this is a bit different than the recent also light meter that has been put out in the market by what was it? The Revenue Labs, was it?
Yeah,
The that was
It's-
actually a
it's-
spot meter.
it's still coming out.
Still coming
He's still
out.
working
Yeah.
on production.
So it's a bit different. It kind of feels in a different market space, I would say, than the
Yeah. That one is a cool spot meter to have. It has a lot of different
and
functions,
super tiny.
but I don't think it has the ability to measure color temperature.
Yeah, and it cannot be used as an incident light meter either.
Yeah, so this one, they don't have like a proper demo. I don't think I couldn't find it. At least like I watched this video, and it's just like a commercial basically. It's some poetic lines and whatever it is. But
Some B-roll,
yeah,
basically.
I would have appreciated like to
How
see
to use it, yeah.
the thing in
Mhm.
use. But knowing how they work, I think you can kind of figure it out. Here, T is your time, meaning shutter speed. It gives you the
EV
exposure
value,
value,
mhm.
so this is like super bright. And you have your ISO, and I'm assuming this is like an iPod thingy, like a touch pad,
That would be really cool, actually.
because otherwise it doesn't make sense. It's either a directional pad or a touch pad. It doesn't say on the page,
Mhm.
or I couldn't find it when I skimmed through it. Here you see your aperture, and here you see your color temperature. There's a bunch of buttons here that I just noticed actually.
On the side, yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's to go up and down, maybe changing from different settings.
Yeah.
Like you change from one setting to another setting.
So we still have no idea how it works, but if you're interested, go catch it, be an early bird.
Mm-hmm.
And So-
I just realized that we kind of probably scoop Nico's that comes out later today.
oh, sorry, Nico. We love your show. We're not trying to be in competition with you. We really appreciate the photo news.
It's
But
cool.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure a lot more people watch his show, so
Yeah.
we just it wasn't anything like that.
I don't know if he's been putting out weekly now that he
yeah,
moved
yeah.
to Finland.
He's
Yeah,
back
still.
to the
Oh.
schedule. We're talking about Nico's photography show. If you're not familiar, it's a really cool news
He's
program.
always up to date.
Yes. So that I think covers the negative supply part of the news,
Mm-hmm.
the non-weekly news, the very random sporadic news that we have on this show. And you wanted to talk about this issue.
Yeah, I thought it was important to at least bring it up. I don't know how many of the people that are here listening to us or watching us right now know of the thing that just happened a couple of past days. That there was a photographer, a European photographer, that did documentary work in China for some time and is now publishing a book with that work. And Kodak had share or like repost the work from this photographer in their main page. And there's been a lot of backlash on that work by the photographer from Chinese people and people in China, because the work is a documentary work, but it's kind of bringing up the issues of oppression that is happening in China, especially with the Muslim people and the Uyghurs. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
So apparently in that part of China, it's where all these things are happening, and the work by this photographer tries to bring light on this in the rest of the world. And there's been a lot of backlash to him. He's getting a lot of hate in his posts, and Kodak also kind of got a lot of hate for sharing that work, saying that it's been political and blah blah. So they decided to retract the photos and make an announcement saying that that they don't really back up the photographers, that they repost the work. They just want to kind of give voice to the work in film
Yeah,
photography.
they said that basically the views of the photographer does not represent the views of the company.
Exactly. And then there's been some conversations online. Why did Kodak do this? This is very disappointing. It's kind of...
I mean, I can tell you one thing. I really like the photos besides the political message. And I don't know anything about the subject. You know, I don't know anything about the Chinese politics or anything. So I don't feel like I should be able to take sides.
Yeah.
Because I'm not automatically like taking the part of the corporation or taking the part of the photographer, because I don't know the photographer.
Yeah.
I don't know the story. I don't know nothing. I don't know enough to make a judgment about the topic. It just feels a little bit off that they put it up and then they took it down. And I understand, because there's a lot of supply chain issues, and you know, they have to, I mean, if they keep it up and then film is out of the market for a while, you know, it's not like they're shooting down the photographer. Like, it's not like it would have been way more terrible if like Instagram suppressed these posts, you know.
Yeah.
But the posts, his own posts, are still there.
They're still up. Yeah.
The Kodak, in a way, by doing the statement,
Yeah.
you know, like I would have not, like, there's a bunch of photos here I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of these, and that photo would have been that whole story
would have been left.
would have been missed.
Yeah, I know.
But then I see this Kodak statement. I'm like, oh, what's going on? Is that a new film? I go and they have the name of the photographer here.
Yeah, I even.
And then there we go. Now I found him.
Yeah, so a lot of people were saying that if you know, if the Chinese Communist Party people, what they wanted was to shun this photographer, they did it the wrong way, because this has only put it more on the spotlight than if they would have said anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the rule of the internet. If you try to suppress something, you will only make it
more popular.
a lot more popular.
Yeah.
So I'm not super upset about how it's been handled, to be honest with you, because like the net value, especially if, here's again, I have no idea what's going on. So look, I don't know the photographer. I hope he's not, you know, making anything up.
Yeah.
And if it is as terrible, or as, I don't know how terrible it is. I didn't even look into it, but I'm being completely honest here. But if he's shedding a light on an issue that's supposed to be, you know, that has, like, people can do something about it, then, you know, it deserves the publicity. It deserves
to be known.
Known about. And then good on him for putting up against all this hate, because I've looked into his stories yesterday.
I know, they're quite sad.
And he was taking it like they're gone now.
Yeah.
But he was like sharing the meanest comments.
Yeah.
And laughing
the notifications
about them.
of the mean comments. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they were quite harsh. There was a lot of harsh comments and very personal, and a lot of people are saying, oh, these are all bots, you know, like that propaganda bots that have an ideology behind and things like that. And I think,
but he's standing up for it.
He's being brave, you know. It's like, this is what I did and this is what it means, and I want the world to know it. To be honest, like you, I don't know so much about this political or racial issue in China. I know I have heard of it. When I saw the photos first, the photos to me, or the body of this documentary work, and the title, which is called Dust, to me, it made me feel more a documentary of a work that is in decadence. You know, like there's a lot of photos of like things in halfway construction, buildings that are like not being used, you know, a little bit that kind of vibe, or like this is a place where it's being forgotten. That's the kind of vibe that I got from that work. Although some, you know, here you're seeing with the Chinese flag, these are the Muslim people praying, I guess, in the mosque. So I guess if you go in more deeper into the work, you can see the connections with these political issues.
I don't see why he would make up such a story.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not accusing the photographer, and like, you know, all I'm saying is that I don't know enough to have a strong opinion about this.
Yeah.
But I would assume that he's a photojournalist that is covering an important issue. And we talked about this, like, I think last week or the week before on the podcast, about the abandoned districts because of the fast, building of the fast growing cities. And then this company that like built these two basically urban sectors that completely are abandoned. And I don't know how it relates to the people that are being that's the name, East Turkestan or Xinjiang Uyghur. Xinjiang Uyghur.
Uyghur, yeah.
Autonomous region under the curve. So it seems like it's a, they're
Yeah, and I mean,
it's a complicated issue.
I have heard about this story that these people are Muslims and they're minorities and they're put into working camps and stuff like that. So, and nobody's talking about it. It's being very covered. How the sharing of news is also in China. So, and people were even saying like, how are all these Chinese people actually commenting on Instagram, because Instagram is not allowed in the Chinese network.
Interesting point.
So, and they were saying they're foreign students or people through VPNs and things like that.
But I have to say, I love the photos.
The photos are amazing. They're really nice.
Very nice. Very, very nice photos.
And I also kind of wanted to talk about this issue because it relates, or this particular news or this happening, it relates a bit to the story of the photographer that we're going to talk about later.
Do you want to use this segue, or should we look at the questions first?
I think we can look at the questions, and then once we are looking about the photographer, Robert Frank, then we can see how it kind of relates to what's happening even nowadays.
Right. So, first question we got, storage film in a fridge, or storing film in a fridge. Yes or nope? This question by Tropolog. Go check him out on Instagram. Well, yes. Short answer, yes. If you don't have a place in the fridge, or you're afraid about getting it wet, you don't want to put it in a Ziploc bag, then keep it in a dry, cool place if you plan to shoot it in the near future. So if you got 2 rolls and you're going to shoot them in the next 2 or 3 weeks, just put it in the cupboard.
No problem.
It's not going to be...
Especially if it's within the expiration date.
Yeah. If it's a fresh film, you don't have to like freak out and run to the fridge, or if you left it outside for like a couple of days. There's a bag like right behind me on the floor there. I just noticed.
With film, we need to log it. Yeah, we need to get the fridge. That's the thing.
We're out of space in the fridge, so we need to buy a fridge to put the film in. Otherwise, we can't eat anymore. Because there's no place to put food in the fridge. But yeah, definitely put it in the fridge. If you plan to store it for a longer period of time, put it in a Ziploc bag, or even better, if you can, if you already have a vacuum sealer.
For food, like freeze dry or...
Yeah, and these are much cheaper than they used to be nowadays. I think we got one for like $20 with and like $2.50 with the bags or something like that.
Yeah.
We got two packages of like 4 rolls of the bags, so you can get those, and then just whatever. Like we have a bunch of 400H in the freezer. Please don't break in. But like whatever expired film that we don't think we're gonna shoot in the near future, is that thing gonna fall, or is it?
It's not gonna fall.
Taped?
It's
okay,
taped.
I just realized that there's a battery hanging by a cable. But anyways, yeah, just keep it in the fridge if you don't planning to shoot it anytime soon, or if you stock up a lot of film of the same. So if you buy like 50 packages of Portra, and you're not gonna shoot those immediately, put maybe half in the fridge, half in the freezer.
That's how we have it right now.
Yeah, and then whenever you get close to run out in your fridge, take them out of the freezer, put them in the fridge for a while, and then they will defrost slowly, and then you can use them. So yeah, but yeah, definitely keep it in the fridge if you are not going to shoot it anytime soon. Anything else? Anything I missed?
No, I mean, if you want to explain why it should be in cold places and why it lasts longer if you put it in the fridge and the freezer, just information.
Whatever you do, here's the thing. Whatever you do, don't leave it in the sun.
Or in a hot place.
Or in a super hot, like don't leave it in the car during the summer, because you will ruin it in maybe a couple of weeks even. I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know how fast it will get messed up, but don't do it. And the reason is because basically film emulsion is gelatin. Maybe it's not so precise, but it is.
It's a jelly substance.
Yeah, it's a gelatinous substance that is sitting on the acetate. And so it's, if you leave it in a hot place, it will dry out basically. When you keep it cold or frozen, it will keep its gelatinous properties, I guess.
Yeah.
So you will preserve it. It's just like having a gelatin. If you make some Jell-O and you leave it outside versus in the fridge, you store your Jell-O in the fridge.
Yeah. I mean, it's like food as well.
Same
you
principle.
Preserve it, yeah.
So yeah, that's the answer for that question. Second question. What's your favorite photo book about the history of photography in terms of authors, styles, etc.? Honestly, I don't necessarily have any history of photography books myself. We have different books of different photographers, but or like covering different topics about photography or art in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any books about the history of photography. It's more topical than that. So I don't have an answer for that question.
I have only one book of history of photography.
Yeah.
I haven't explored many of them. The one I have is by the George Eastman collection, and it's not so big. It's by Taschen editorial, and it covers a lot in not so much, not so in detail. It's the history of photography from 1875 to nowadays.
Mhm.
Although nowadays is not the 20s.
When it was released.
It's probably the early 2000s or the 2010 or something like that. And I like it because it covers a lot, and you kind of see how things change, and it kind of connects one thing to the other, like how did the things kind of evolve throughout. And it has the names of the people that really change, and it's something special. And actually I use that book sometimes to look for who to talk about in the podcast as well. And then there is a book that I really, really like. It's called On Photography. It's an essay by Susan Sontag about photography. She was a philosopher and a writer, and she has a book all about thoughts about photography. What does it mean? I really like it because it can fit for everybody. I think everybody, no matter what kind of photography you like, what kind of artists or who do you admire, I think, or even what kind of photography you do or you want to do, I think it allows you to learn about yourself, like what are the things that are important to you. So she kind of covers a lot of the ground of like, why do people do the things they do in photography, what can they mean, and then you can see yourself reflected there. So even though it's not a history of photography book, she draws on historical figures in photography to talk about photography, and it doesn't have any pictures, it's all words, but I really like it, and I recommend it to everyone.
Definitely.
It's very short.
Definitely not looking at that book myself.
I know.
No, here's another plug for a more famous YouTuber, Alex Soth. If you're not familiar with the channel, I mean, he's a famous photographer, really beautiful. I love his work, and he has a YouTube channel. He has a very big collection of photography books, and he has a YouTube channel about basically his collection. And he looks at different books and different videos, and really cool. Like, he has some really, really cool finds that not many other people will probably have access to, or like have them in the one collection. But yeah, by the way, I want to go back to the previous question about storing the film. We learned one thing is that wine fridges will not work. I mean, they will work, but they're not as good as an actual fridge.
Yeah.
Because again, as I mentioned, a cupboard will work, right? So if you don't have a cool, dry place at all, and you have to happen a wine fridge that you're not using, that is going to be your best bet. It's better than a warm cabinet, warm, moist cabinet. So put them in a wine fridge. It will be just all right. Otherwise, get some of those like mini fridges for drinks. So like Monster, they have one.
Coca-Cola has one.
Whatever.
Red Bull, those ones.
Get one of those. Jägermeister even have one.
Yeah.
So get one of those and put your film in it. That will make it last longer, because I think it has to be in under 4 degrees Celsius.
4 degrees is a normal fridge temperature, and wine normally is between 13, 14, 18, depending the wine. Although white wines normally are better served colder, so I don't know.
Yeah, so check
it.
Check the temperature, the minimum temperature that it reaches. Otherwise, you might be thinking, that I can keep it past the expiration date because it's in the fridge. Because that's usually the case. Usually, if you have a film that is going to expire soon, maybe you bought it for a better price because it's almost at the expiry date, then you can put it in the fridge and it will last longer than it says on the box. We have a bunch of different comments. Pepsi lemon fridge. Yeah, sure. Also, Bronzo mentioned a history of photography from 1839 to the present, the George Eastman House collection. It's a great book. I can't read that word. By Taschen.
Taschen, yeah, this is the book I was talking about.
Yeah.
It's the book that we have at home.
Cool. So thank you for.
By the way, Eli is with us.
Hi, Eli.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and if anybody else has any recommendation to answer this question about history of photography, books about the history of photography, leave them in the comments. So people, when they watch this later, other people who are watching with you, they can also get your recommendations. And let's jump to the third and last question. Do you think a Japan company will eventually bring up a brand new film camera? Do I hope so? Yes. Do I think so? No. Because I don't know if you know this, Federico Lazos. Did I read it right? Yeah, I think so. Federico Lazos. Also, as usual, check him out on Instagram. Become friends. I don't know. I don't think so. Nikon recently, like last year, stopped production of the last film camera that was being produced by a major I can't say the last because I think Leica might still be doing it. But in terms of like Nikon, one of the last big companies that was still producing the F6, they stopped it last year. And I don't know if they're going to make an F7. I mean, what a plot twist. But I don't know. There's a lot of film cameras that are still working, and the research and development that go into making a film camera, it's expensive, even though like it all goes into the price, and they have to reallocate, different resources from the company to leave whatever they're working on and work on a new film camera, or they have to hire new people. And then when you think about it, really nowadays, these companies are struggling, I mean, I'm not saying this, so they're making millions of dollars, but still the competition is high in the digital world. They're very close to each other when it comes to Canon, Nikon, and Sony. And Sony is, kicking everybody's butt. They keep releasing amazing cameras. So, and you have the competition in the smaller sensor sector with Fuji and Olympus. So the competition is very high in the digital world, and they can always, keep selling you new stuff, to like accessories and stuff like that for it. When it comes to film, they're just gonna sell you that one product, and then all the profit is gonna go away to like the film manufacturers, which is not them.
Yeah.
So unless Kodak releases a camera, then I don't see necessarily. I hope so. Again, like I really hope like some rich Japanese guy would bring back Mamiya, for example.
That would be so nice.
Or Ricoh are still active. They're under a different company now. I think, I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one of those action 3D 360 cameras. They're basically Ricoh. Some of them even say Ricoh on the box, on the camera itself. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think. Don't get your hopes up.
Well, I mean, I think if analog photography keeps going more popular, perhaps one of the bigger players might put one out.
Yeah.
And I see Nikon as it could be the one that would do it, because I think are the ones that remain connected to the film camera research and development the longest, and then maybe it would be easier for them to just go back and then maybe make a new one. That's what I think, but we'll see. I think for nothing in the five-year mark, 10 years maybe.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're really struggling in the digital world, which to some degree they might be. Like again, I'm not keeping up with digital cameras anymore, but I think between the big ones, you have Sony and Canon at the top, in the zeitgeist, at least in popularity. Everybody's either working with Sony or Canon. And then you have Nikon in the third place, and then Pentax. That's in the full frame category.
Yeah.
So, nobody knows how Pentax is still around, because, nobody ever talks about them. And by the way, they make amazing cameras. they have really good sensors, Pentax. So if you're into digital photography, look into Pentax. They're really good, especially if you love SLRs. They're refusing to join the mirrorless market. And then I'm probably wrong. They probably have 2 mirrorless cameras. I have no idea, but I don't think they do. Yeah, maybe Pentax or Nikon, since they could make a new digital camera. I don't know. Pentax, I think it is Japanese, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So they could make potentially a new film camera, since to at least get some of the market share, since they're not doing so well in digital. That's the only way I see it happening, but I don't know if it's from a corporation standpoint. I don't know if it's feasible. I don't know what it takes to do so. But if you think about it, since these two companies still make SLRs, they basically just have to strip a lot of the components out of their current models, and then put like a way to put film through it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I imagine. You know what would be super cool? IBIS on a film camera. So like the whole film rolling plate will move the same way a digital sensor moves to keep it stabilized, so you can shoot at lower shutter speeds. That would be a cool idea.
That would be really nice.
I mean, that would be something crazy, but I don't know. Nobody listens to me. What about an Olympus lomography collab? Apparently, Olympus is working on the new Samsung phone cameras. Maybe not too crazy. Look, I love Olympus and I hate lomography, so maybe that will equalize the thing. I don't hate lomography. I just, they're not in the same realm as other companies. I don't think so. They make fun, cool little things, and I'm so glad they exist.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
We talked about that.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe that's because look, I can tell you one thing: Olympus glass is brilliant, and lomography glass, well, it's plastic, so it's not even glass. So yeah, maybe a collaboration would make a super cool camera. So that would be very, very cool and interesting if it happens. Somebody saying Nikon F7 fully mechanical. Yeah, why not? I mean,
that'd be nice.
Look, the F3s are indestructible. I think they messed up when they made the F3s because
they don't need anything else.
Yeah, they are indestructible. So I don't know if, maybe. I mean, it would be super cool for sure. What I want is, the cool thing that is happening that we should talk about is that more people are learning how to fix old cameras.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the old cameras are mechanical. It's really cool that we can always still fix them relatively easily. And if you're interested, check out what's it called, Camera Store or
in
Camera
Finland.
Rescue. It's a company in Finland.
And they have a program to train here.
Yeah, they do have a program to train people how to fix cameras. So if you're somewhere near, or if you want to travel and learn how to fix cameras, there you go.
Go to Finland.
Go to Finland, go to Camera Store and learn how to fix your favorite brand. They have like different specialists that handle different cameras. So yeah, I think that should be enough about that, because we promised you to talk about Robert Frank and we're half hour in. So I think it's a good time to start.
Sure.
Right. So what do you want to tell us today?
So I decided to talk about Robert Frank because even though he wasn't a very prolific photographer, and the fact is that he was more known for being a filmmaker than he did more work as a filmmaker than a photographer. His photography work and the little work that he did as a photographer really changed the views on photojournalism back in the 50s. So I think it really deserves an episode, and it deserves to... we're going to go through actually that book that changed the view of photojournalism, and then we can also see a little bit of his work before and after. He was born in Switzerland in 1924, so quite a long time ago, and he passed away of quite an old age in 2019, so only like a couple of years ago.
Hold on, before you continue, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
I just want to say, maybe I'm wrong, but everybody blames YouTubers for spiking up the price of these tiny Olympus one. I think he might have had something to do with it. I was just kidding. But
I thought the same thing when I saw that photo. The other photos we saw, he was holding, like, he mostly worked with handheld 35mm camera all throughout his photography work. And that was in itself something very different. Back in the 50s, photojournalism wasn't really done in the style that we're more used to today about street photography, for example. So when I look at the work of Robert Frank, to me, it just it speaks for like street photography type of like super raw and candid work done in the moment that is really capturing what's happening without so much attention to being properly done, like in exposure, blurriness, sharpness, angles, or composition. Even it's more about like I'm there and I'm shooting what I'm seeing and what I'm experiencing, type of thing. But that was groundbreaking back then. That wasn't really what was done before. Photojournalists were people that were going out with field cameras, taking their time to take photographs to document what was happening around. And he came with his small camera and he's like, no, I'm just gonna like see what's around me and shoot it. And he started back in the 50s, early 50s, even some work from the late 40s. He was like around 20.
Can I say how much I love this photo that we're looking at right now?
It's for sure.
Let me ask you this. Would you consider this a Dutch angle?
Not really.
Because I know that like usually the Dutch angle is when you tilt the horizon.
Yeah.
In my head, this also kind of counts as a Dutch angle. Like you use a diagonal line for framing. But it's, let's not get hung up on the terminology here. Another thing that I want to talk about in this composition is it's so beautiful, this one. It's just so balanced, and we have rhythm. Again, I love to talk about that rule of composition, like you have these guys repeating here, and it's just such a nice photo. Very well exposed, and the moment of the guy lighting.
And what I really like about his photographs is that it's like a window to the world. It doesn't really make you feel like he was there being noticed. Like, I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he managed. We're gonna see tons of work where it just feels like he wasn't there. And that's a skill that is very, very difficult to master, to be honest.
I agree. It takes you out of the point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
And puts you into the world.
He was known for having a very expressive style, so much so that some people coined him as the Manet of the new photography, because Manet, he was an impressionist painter. He was kind of really doing his thing, and the way that Robert was photographing around. This one, actually, this is kind of beautiful. This is one of the latest photographs I could find that he took back in 2003 perhaps. By the end of his life, he moved to Nova Scotia in Canada, and he worked mostly with alternative type of photography processes, either Polaroid or doing composites or collages and things that are really like not straight still photographs. And I like that in this one you can even see like the written hand note in it about his thoughts in the moment as well. So he was born, this one actually was photographed in Spain. In Valencia.
It's Barcelona.
Barcelona, actually. Oh, sorry. There was another one in Valencia then. He actually went into photography to escape from the business-oriented family and home that he was living in. And he trained under a few photographers and designers in his early years. And then he made his first photo book, was actually handmade. In 1946, it was the first photo book that he kind of made. He just basically printed his photos and put it together and called it, this is my book, my first book.
I have to say something. I like when I see a contact sheet with no repeated photos.
This is why I decided to put this one. I really love to look at contact sheets of photographers and kind of see their thinking when they are shooting. You can see what they were thinking is interesting to photograph one after another thing. We're gonna see another one at some point. I think I saved another one. This is also part of a contact sheet, I believe.
Yeah, it almost
Yeah.
feels like a panorama for like
Yeah,
when you
right?
see it
Yeah,
from a
yeah,
distance.
yeah.
Yeah, these are so cool.
Yeah, these are the ones that he did later in the 70s. So he started in the 40s. He did the seminal work that he did in the early, 55, 56. And then he dropped photography. He focused on doing movies and short movies and documentary movies. And then on the 70s, he kind of went back to photography, but with a completely different approach, more doing things like this, which would be collages and a little bit of like alternative things for not calling it like that. It's also photography, but it's a different kind of
And this one
art.
is super cool.
That's it from 71.
Lithograph.
And he also published a second book there in the 70s called The Lines of My Hand. This one is early work, I believe, 40 something.
1951.
No, 51. Yeah, kind of earlier work in London. I really love it. I really like it, but I can see how back then this wasn't really a way of photograph. Even though so probably a lot of you, or you, Jimmy, will see somehow a little bit of Cartier-Bresson in the photos. He really admired Cartier-Bresson and was one of his early influences, but he was the years later, after starting himself to do photography, a bit critical of the approach of Cartier-Bresson. He felt that Cartier-Bresson's photos weren't really telling the truth, or they were more like confined onto from a beginning and an end without really looking forward or looking outside of what they were showing. That's how he explained it, and that he was like, it's kind of like a pantomime of photojournalism. That's how he called it, and kind of refused Bresson's work. But I see a lot of Bresson's inspiration and compositions and the way to look at the world around. I really like this one that we're showing right now.
I like the sub-framing of
exactly. Yeah,
it looks like somebody with a
carriage or something. Yeah,
really cool. Very balanced photos. Beautiful. 1950 in London.
Yes. So this is before he moved to the US and did this work. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to jump back to the
book that on the work?
Yeah,
we can do that. So the most notable work that he did, it was a book published in 1958, first in France, called The Americans, and then later it was published in the US. So he was given a fellowship, and he decided to travel with his family all around the US. And when I say all around, he kind of visited almost all the states in the mainland. He went to Michigan, Georgia, Florida, New Orleans, Houston, Los Angeles, Reno, in Nevada, Utah, Montana, Chicago, Illinois. He kind of went around. He took 2 years to do this work, and he shot over 28,000 photos in those 2 years, of which 83 were selected to be part of the book in the end. The way that he approached this work, it was really out of the line of the days. You know, he said that he saw the disparities between classes in the US and how sad a lot of people were in a country that was mostly based or focused on money. And that was kind of some things that inspired him to do this work and to kind of portray America from the view of an outsider, because he wasn't American. He was just kind of moved to America, and he had this outsider perspective, which is like he wasn't very attached to the national America feeling, you know, the nationalism of America and being an American, and he was able to, from this distant viewpoint, to photograph what he was seeing around. And the book was first published in France, and then he was able to actually bring it to America, but it wasn't well received at all, because they were complaining that who is he to come and portray America in this way, which is not the best way, or like it doesn't only look into the shines of the country, and it looks into the disparities and the racial problems and how people were either very rich or very poor, and there were these inequalities around as well. What do you think about the photos?
I like the photos. It's an interesting book for sure to flip through. Yeah, I definitely see like that the vibe that you were talking about is just less about the technicality and more about capturing something in the frame.
Yeah, so actually when they published the American edition, they took away all the texts that were published in the French edition because they say that it was too un-American in tone, the way that they were explaining these photographs, and they were explaining what they meant to him in his road through America. I have not read the original French book, so I cannot vouch for that. I cannot say what it is, but I can kind of imagine.
CM is mentioning something about the Shield edition. No,
the
Steeled. Can't see. The Steeled edition of the Americans. I'm not sure what that is. Do you know?
No, it might be because there were different editions and it was re-edited. And actually it's a very cool thing because Frank, he was part of all the re-editions of the book. And he actually changed croppings of some photos. He added a couple of photos more. So it's something that it was a kind of work in progress throughout its life. And I think, I don't know when the last edition of the book was made. Probably near, or maybe they re-edited after he passed away, if I'm not mistaken.
This edition that we're looking at here, I mean, I'm imagining that these photos are going to be either like...
double spread?
Not necessarily double spread, but like facing each other.
Yeah.
So like you'd have one photo on the left page, one photo on the right page. And I feel like sometimes maybe this edition is not the best one that we're looking at in terms of like one photo after the other.
Yeah.
But since you're saying that there's different editions, like I think you can send out like a more powerful message.
Exactly. Yeah.
To see like the disparity and the, the not contradiction. What is the word I'm looking for? The difference between the classes.
Exactly. So the photographs are notable for the view on both high and low strata of American society, and the book as a whole created a complicated portrait of the period that was viewed as skeptical of contemporary values and evocative of ubiquitous loneliness. So it's kind of a bit of a cry for help from the people. We are supposed to be so good, but we actually feel so lonely, and we have so many disparities between the people that were supposed to be living together and sharing this country, right? This one I love.
Photo.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to love it. As soon as I saw it, it's like, it's going to love this photo.
How did you know?
Because it reminds me a lot of one that you took actually in Central Station in Stockholm.
I love those photos.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah.
It's just, I always talk about this. What attracts me to street photography, this is exactly it.
I know, yeah.
If you missed me rambling about this before, to me, street photography is like wildlife for humans. And there is nothing like this to me. It's like, imagine a bunch of zebras or whatever, gazelles, deer, drinking from a lake, and they're just stacked over each other by the lake. This is the same. This is the human version of that photo. And that's why I just love those. This one is so good. And I love how like people are just coming and going on the edges of the frame. So good. So good.
So when the book came to America, there were some people that didn't really like it at all, and they were, giving critics saying things like these images are meaningless, blur, grain, muddy exposures, drunken horizons, and general sloppiness. This is how it was kind of defined, the whole body of work.
I'm not going to comment on that.
But I mean, this also tells, look,
I really like
there's
this
another
one too.
Quote that I liked and I highlight. Franks presents photographs made in scattered places around the country, returning again and again to such themes as the flag, the automobile, race, restaurants, eventually turning those artifacts, by the way of the associations in which he embeds them, into profound and meaningful symbols of the American culture. And this is basically nowadays photography as well. If you scroll through our Instagram, if you go through film photographers in America in particular, the almighty gas station in Cinestill, what it is if not a symbol of the American culture. It is very very in line with the kind of sentiment that these photographs bring.
I guess so. Yeah, but again, like, I feel like the majority of those photos is just a lot of people take that photo because they've seen it somewhere and they liked it, and they've seen that a lot of other people like it.
That it doesn't have a meaning behind it or
You know what I
a
mean?
reason to be.
Yeah,
Kind of.
it's not like, for example, there's a photographer that I like. His name is Dino Kuznick,
Dino Kuznick.
and he's a young photographer, and he published a book called what's it called? Something about the West, and it's about his journey.
Out West or something like that?
No, Shaped by the West.
Oh.
And it's about his journey from his mother country, somewhere in Europe, to America, and how it's kind of similar to Frank, like how he sees the West, the US, especially because he says it in a I've heard him on a podcast somewhere, that he grew up watching American TV, and then he went to live there. And there's like a lot of things that he
idealized.
From TV, and how like it's about his relationship growing up, idealizing these things
and then
from the movies there. And then being there and seeing them. And he does a lot of like those popular photos that you see on Instagram. Like I've seen his photos being copied, but again, I don't know if he
was there.
Especially nowadays in this, on this age, everything is a copy of something else. So I don't know if it goes that deep always when you see those photos. A lot of the times it's just because people want to, it's just like the teal and orange thing. Somebody figured it out that, oh yeah, I can use, opposite colors, but then everybody else was like, oh yeah, this is what you do. Or you just, you see something and then you pay $5 and buy a lot pack, and, it's just, there's, I don't know.
I mean, the story is a little bit similar, because Frank was also very optimistic about the U.S. states and culture when he moved there, especially because he was from a Jewish family, and they had a lot of problems during the war. They had to go to Switzerland, and, it was very stressful for the family. And then, America seen as the place where they could finally have a peaceful life, so to speak. So he was very hopeful. And then he quickly changed his opinion of the U.S. as he was confronted with the fast pace of American life. He was saying that this is like these countries only focus on money. Everything's going so fast. People are not really like considering what matters in life and things like that. So he was also disenchanted in a way after living for a few years in the U.S. That's also what bothered a lot of people when he published the book, because they were like, oh, this country that has kind of taking him by the hand and allowing him to have a good life, and then he kind of stabs us in the back having this portraiture of the country.
But the only difference that I would say, because I think now it sounds like we're saying it's
no.
With Dino's work, I feel like he loves that look, and now he has the chance to kind of
be there
and do it himself. And I mean, his photos are not similar to these photos.
No, not at all.
His photos makes things more beautiful. Here is more on the people. There's hardly any people in Dino's photos. They're more landscape type of shots. What do you call them? Environmental shots. There is some portrait work, but I don't think it falls in the same category.
No, for sure. I draw the parallel that it's like it's a journey, right? It's like what are you learning, how it's affecting you, what is it that you are seeing around. It could be positive, could be negative, and for sure, like that's gonna change the perspective in the photographs as well.
But yeah, for sure, like this definitely is a very nice a very nice collection of street photography from that time. In a way that you see a lot of street photography being done now by a lot of people, like who do a bunch of street photography in New York and stuff like that. All these tilted frames, random frames. We talked about some photographers also in previous episodes who had similar looking photos. maybe they were more polished, more refined, but I feel like it's not fair to dismiss Robert Robert's work by the critics back in the day.
No,
Uh,
also because the
because
time showed
yeah,
that his way was something, something new, but something that was appreciated and that then has served as an inspiration for a lot of photographers.
a lot of these frames, maybe they're accidentally, like, I don't know again, but I'm saying a lot of these they have very bold and
Approach, yeah. Mhm.
composition
Mhm.
styles that is really powerful and beautiful. Like this one, for example, having this guy's face so big here
Mhm.
and the frame. It's just this one at least feels to me like a still from a movie for some
Yeah.
reason. Because this is like a common thing to do
Mhm.
in movies to imply maybe they're talking to each other and this guy is saying something but they want you to see how this guy is reacting to
Yeah.
him. So yeah, this one is very cinematic. But anyways, let's continue. You were saying something, I interrupted you.
No, I don't think so. I lost my track of thought if I was gonna say. This one I also like a lot.
Yeah, this one, 1,000 likes on Instagram today.
Right.
Covered cars are so popular nowadays, even more popular than gas stations.
This, and as you see, like these things put together one next to
Mhm.
each other, it
This one is
really
powerful.
has a narrative in it for sure.
This one is so powerful. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like this is
Yeah.
a very direct comparison.
Mhm.
Here you see like a rich home covering their expensive car and some people in the field with what it seems like a body that has
Most probably, yeah.
been dead and covered. So yeah, that one is a very powerful one.
This one I love.
Open road.
Yeah, I love it. As the symbol again, look, the flag and the all presidents of the U.S. So, yeah, I think the whole book is a beautiful book. It's
I
like,
love the shot.
you remember when we were talking last week
Mm.
about that was like one cannot just get a portrait of one person, one photo. That's not enough to get the essence of it. I
Mhm.
feel like this is a beautiful portrait of America
Mhm.
back in those days. You get the good things and the bad things. Although it's kind of funny because apparently Robert Frank's mother asked him, "Why do you always take pictures of poor people?" And then he replied, "It wasn't true, but my sympathies were with people who struggle. There was also some mistrust of people who made the rules." So he was always more inclined to portray and photograph the less fortunate, so to speak.
I love this one.
This was cool.
This one almost reminds me
So flat.
but it almost reminds me of the work of what was it, Gregory
Crowdson?
Crutzen
Yeah.
and Dave LaChapelle.
Uh-huh.
It
So
fe-
like a stage.
it feels like this whole area was like put there, like it's so crazy that this place it's so
What's going on?
the plants are so out of control with the
Yeah.
with a abandoned car in the back and the house or building, whatever that is in the background, and this guy sitting in this thing with the shade in his hat. Like it feels so random and crazy that somebody had to put this thing together to make it look that way.
Mhm.
But I'm assuming it was there and he just happened to take the photo. But it's so cool. Like I feel like that's why I feel like you can always, if you're lucky enough, get this photo
Without setting
without
it up.
setting it up.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not a big fan of. I'm not saying their work is less.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like we expressed our opinions
Pre-productions,
about
yeah.
Crutzen, but I'm personally more fan of the spontaneous one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
This one's really good too.
so many cool ones. A lot of them for nostalgia purposes, but a lot of them also for compositional purposes.
Yes.
Here's the gas station photo. This is where it started.
That was, I mean, everything taken between 55 and 56. So
And also, this potentially could have been a neon sign photo if it was later in the day.
this one I really love.
This one?
Yeah. It's the implied movement, the dynamic feeling of the photo.
Yeah. Oh, now it's I'm getting more context. I think that woman is the elevator operator.
Yeah, she
So
is.
she
I think
is
so.
from like because
Yeah,
of what
she's
she's
walking.
wearing.
Yeah.
She's not walking.
She's working. Working. I mean.
Working. She's still, and everybody's passing
Moving.
by.
Yeah.
It's so cool. This one is so cool.
It's just like a cotidiano, as we say, like ordinary, regular day life.
Oh,
This is the cinema, the outdoor cinema. We used to have them too.
I've never been to one of those.
Really cool.
So many cool photos.
And yeah, I mean, I can see how coming from a point where, you know, the mid-century photojournalism, looking into very carefully composed photos taken with a lot of time, these photos are like completely crazy. I mean, in a sense, these are snapshots, right? As we were talking some other times, you know, like it's being in the right place in the right moment and taking the photo.
Yeah.
But still,
like
they are beautifully composed.
For example, if you think this photo is just a snapshot and it doesn't have any, value in terms of like art or technical abilities, I'm sorry, but you need to reevaluate a lot of things, because the decision that had to be made, the creative decision that had to be made to take this photo is not any less than knowing how to put a key light, a fill light, and whatever hair light. If that's your definition of technical ability, I don't know what to say to you. The guy anticipated that the people are gonna leave the elevator, and that the woman is gonna stay there, and then he made the decision to expose with a longer exposure time, and he probably had to lean and he had to do it so fast and catch her between the people leaving. Like, there's so much in there that's going on in terms of knowing your settings, knowing your camera. So the fact that the horizon or like the verticals are not, vertical, it doesn't matter. He could have edited,
but it actually add even more, because it's the urgency, it's the moment. It's like, I'm here to capture the relationship between the subjects. It doesn't matter if we're tilted, if we're not. It is part of the story.
Al-Walid saying in the chat, didn't Frank stage this photo? I'm not sure which photo which photo you mean. If you're talking about the girl in the elevator,
I don't think so.
Well, here's the thing. As far as I understand, I don't think he staged any of the photos, because I mean, again, I didn't look into the history or nothing, but from what I heard from Eva, is that he was a street photographer.
Yeah.
And as a street photographer, you're not supposed to stage your photos. I don't think it's
staged. No.
I don't think it's staged. I don't know. I would hope not. And for me, this shouldn't be staged.
No.
I
don't think they were staged.
So we passed this one earlier. I really like this one.
Yeah.
But we were past it. Where did we get?
Here. This was also.
This one is powerful as well. It's so crazy. This one. It's like he's sitting on a throne, getting his shoe polished, but he's in front of all of the hero. It's so powerful. I love this book. Anyways,
CM is saying there are a lot of photos of the girl in the elevator on the contact sheets. Yeah, obviously, I'm sure it wasn't just one of.
So basically, he was hanging out there.
Yeah.
To anticipate that.
This one is
to capture the right one. Maybe the elevator stopped in different floors.
Yeah,
and then he kept snapping every time people left the elevator.
I mean, I think he was out of the elevator for the I think.
No. He's in the elevator. So? He's in. People are going out. Where did I lose it to? Yeah, there.
I don't think so. I think this is the door into the elevator. Like, you are looking like this.
No, look, there's a plant right there.
Yeah, exactly. So he's outside the elevator.
He's inside the elevator.
No. I don't think so.
Why would there be a plant inside the elevator?
Well, that's what I mean. If you are here, you are outside. You are looking into the elevator.
Yeah, that's the outside. That woman is exiting.
Yeah, so he's outside the elevator.
He's inside.
No.
Are you? He's inside the elevator, taking a photo of the people leaving the elevator from behind.
Oh, now I see the other. I was looking at other thing. I was looking at this being the door.
It is the door.
No, but this way, not this way.
Yeah, it's this one
Yeah,
closes that way.
Yeah, I thought it was closing this way.
Okay.
The perspectives were changing. You know what I mean? Like he's on a.
He's inside the elevator.
Yeah. Now I understand. But I thought it was like he was on a corridor, you know, and then the people are going out of the elevator, and he was in front of the door of the elevator.
So the woman operating it is on the outside?
No, it's on the inside.
I can't imagine your perspective.
Okay.
Let's let's skip it for now. Right. Where did we get here? I mean, we have a bunch
This one I
this
like.
one is really cool. It does kind of remind me of Rodchenko.
Yeah, because it's super graphic.
Yeah.
It's like it looks like a painting, fine line painting. And I love, that the two persons on the sides are cut. Actually, I really like it. This is so
this is cool.
This reminds me of WandaVision.
Oh, WandaVision. Yeah, it
Right?
does. True. It's a Marvel series.
This is so good.
It is
like
so
it's
good. This is one of the ones that if you see today, you would scream, Photoshop.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes you get lucky with those things. Maybe I should tell you about, what's his name? Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. A photographer who hasn't been active lately.
You mean Pablo? No, what's his name? Jose Pablo? No.
Let me delete some of those. Oh,
I don't know. Is the Barcelona guy?
yeah.
We want to have him in the podcast.
Yeah, but we can give him a quick shout out.
Yeah.
Sorry about the lack of me saying stuff.
It's alright.
But I'm trying to find this guy.
Find it a photographer that he is, to me, the craziest street photographer I've seen.
Yeah, he drove me nuts.
It's like you really have to look at the photo and say like, how is it even possible that he got it? And apparently it is true. These are moments. He just spends hours and hours and hours and hours on the street and find these moments, and nothing is manipulated afterwards. None of it, which is crazy. Yeah, Pau Buscato.
Pau. Yeah, these photos are just so cool. Check him out. I mean, he plays so much with these lines that, like, it looks like this water on the floor just leaking through his heel. Let me see. I mean, look at this one. They have a halo.
So nice. I mean, he's just there in the moment, and it's just so beautiful.
This one is so cool.
Yes.
Let's see. He has some crazy ones.
There was one with some yellow things, I remember.
Look at this one.
Yeah.
He does so well with, like, finding the lines, like things matching together, lining up. Like, for example, this guy has a halo on his head. So like this.
So intriguing.
Yeah, look at
that
this,
one?
the
bus,
red one?
Yeah,
the bus and the phone cover. He's like a master of doing this kind of stuff.
Look at the yellow one.
It's so good that it's almost depressing to me how good this guy is.
317, 316. What?
I mean, it's crazy. Look at this one.
With the dots.
With the dots on the back end. Check, like, I'm not gonna go through all the photos that I like.
Although they are like very entertaining to watch.
Look at this one. Looks like he has wings on his head, angel wings sticking out of his ear.
It's crazy.
I'm trying to find that the one with the yellow lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, this poster is based on it. This is it. Yeah, this is the one. And then this is, I think, and then it goes back again.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but this is it. That's the one.
That's the photo, yeah.
This is the photo. The photo doesn't have these letters or these letters here or these letters. So it's just the crane, what is the name of this thing? Crane?
Crane?
Isn't crane the thing that takes things up and down?
Yeah.
It's also this one. Well, the walking stick and these two lines here. Yeah, and I don't know. I really hope that these photos are not manipulated,
Yeah.
because look at this one. This one is insane. This one
What?
almost
What?
made me break all my cameras. Look at this. It's crazy. There's like these are painted on the container or whatever this thing is. This is a rip in the fabric over there. And this is an actual bird. I mean, how long did you stand over there to catch this?
I can't wrap my head around it. It's like my brain wants to explode.
Right, yeah, this is the original photo of the poster.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's enough about
It's
that.
really nice. Very nice work, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so continue looking at the photographs of the Americans, more class workers.
So much rhythm, so much beautiful compositions all over this book. I don't understand how people will be so hating on it.
Well, I mean,
Again, I don't understand that every time we talk about it. So it's
yeah, of course.
it's not special.
But I'm very happy that even though it had that backlash and it didn't really make a lot of money at the beginning and the critics were all against him, that somehow it made its way through by itself because it's good work. You know, like
Yeah.
that makes me happy.
Of course,
It makes me happy
again,
that
as we talked earlier in the episode about what's his name now? I can't remember. The guy who's doing the stuff in China.
yeah.
You know, that rejection only gave him more exposure. So
This was so good.
this one is definitely reminiscent of Bresson.
Yeah, and also, you know, later in life, he actually worked with Diane Arbus
Mm-hmm.
for some projects. And I think we might see later when we finish the book, he worked for a cover of the Rolling Stones album as well.
Right.
And some other things that he did that were kind of cool.
Yeah. If you
These
want,
ones are nice.
if you want me to,
Wait, you are almost in the end, I believe.
yeah.
I don't know. This is so cool. This
This guy
is so
looks
nice.
reminds me of Eddie Murphy with
Eddie
the jacket.
Murphy?
If you've seen the special.
Rick, which one? No. Can't touch this. No.
Rick James?
Yeah.
No.
looks like a bit.
He looks more like Charlie Murphy, Eddie's big brother.
Oh yeah. This one I really love.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This
This
one-
is
This one almost doesn't look like the rest of his work. Reminds me of somebody else that we talked about in the past.
Elliot Erwitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is the last one.
Yes.
There's a contact sheet of it. Yeah, and then I mean, this is another of the photo montages that he was doing later, in his life, and this one I believe. A next one. Was it from the 70s?
Yeah, 77, 71.
Yeah. This is so cool. I really
What
like
is
this
this?
one.
It looks like a giant watermelon. And
It
the
is-
Hulk trying to catch it.
Right. This is early work. This is 48.
Okay.
So
It's a parade in New York.
yeah, it's just very nice. The rhythm, the composition, and the fact that they're so
Hulk,
grainy
but
and so.
what is he shooting with? Like the worst film ever made?
Actually, we are gonna see a contact sheet of the Americans. It's Kodak black and white film.
But what happened to it? Did he soup it before?
I don't know. He actually did experimental things later in his life
All right.
with doing things to the negatives and stuff like that. But I don't think Early was doing it. I don't know. It was very, very, very. Maybe it was super dark.
No, but this looks like
Look at
like,
this one. This
This
one's
looks
one of
like
my
during the day, and there is like not much shadow detail, not much any. Is it done on purpose like this? I guess
I guess. This one is one of my favorites.
it's so cool.
I love this one.
This one is so cool indeed.
And you have the Chevrolet sign there, which is
It's,
super American.
Times Square in 1953.
Yeah. This was before his road trip.
Uh-huh.
It's just so good. And this one's there's another one of the chairs. This is in Paris, in France. I just love this photo. This photo I would put anywhere in my house. I
I
love it.
I agree.
It's so simple. I don't know. There's something about it.
This one.
Yeah.
It's almost like the chair looks almost like a ballerina or something.
Yeah, right? Like there is
a
elegance to the
flamingo
chair.
animal. Flamingo.
I
What is it
don't
called?
know.
The animal that stands on.
Flamingo.
Yeah. It has that beauty vibe to it.
Maybe, yeah. This is the cover of the Rolling Stones.
Exile on Main Street.
Yes, and it was with other photographers as well.
All right.
Is that the last one?
No.
Oh, okay. No. These are other ones that I found around.
What is
I
this?
think you
How
have-
big is the page? All right. Oh, this is so cool. Look,
Yeah.
drying film,
Yeah. And it was late. Does it say the year there?
1993.
Yeah. So
Yeah. On Bleecker Street. New York City, 7 Bleecker Street, September 1993. And I think this is the last one in this gallery.
I also that
No,
was
there-
early work. I think.
There's more.
And that's the contact sheet of the one in the book, the one that's
Oh,
selected
this
for the
one.
book.
Yeah.
No, that one, and then there's also the one of the train
The one on the train.
Here.
This one.
So as you can see, even though he took 83,000 photos, and no, like, how many did I say?
Something around that number.
No, 28,000, and he chose 83.
Yeah.
Like, his contact sheets don't look so repetitive.
No. No.
I mean,
that's how you
sometimes
do it.
here, this one, for example, yeah, it's the same.
I'm curious.
It's-
Did we get the elevator contact sheet?
No, I didn't see that.
I'm really curious about that one now.
Maybe
Hold
CM
on.
can send us a picture. He has it in the book or something.
Let me see. Yeah, if you can do that, CM, I would really appreciate it. But maybe I
This
can
one
find
is
it.
really cool too.
All right. So I'm looking for Robert Frank.
Contact. I wanted to do that search, but I
Later
didn't have time before.
Contact sheet. All right. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, found it. I think.
Elevator?
Not this one. I want this one. No.
Mhm.
Oh, this one here. Yeah, so he was in the elevator.
Yeah, now I see it clearly.
Yeah. And this is the one,
The one
that
chosen,
he
yeah.
selected. Yeah.
Is it Kodak also?
Yeah, Eastman 20.
Yeah.
Something.
Cool.
Very
I really
interesting.
like seeing contact sheets.
I'm kind of disappointed that it's not a one-off.
I mean, did you really expect? I didn't expect that it would be a
I
one-off.
expected it to be a one-off.
I mean, if you see, none of the others are similar. There's only the one next to it.
Like 1, 2, first try, second try, third try, fourth try, and banger. You know, and then I don't know what these are for. But yeah,
Maybe he liked her.
I'm just being mean. Right, so let's go back to this.
This is from 78. So also, I think it's actually a collage or some sort. I couldn't really figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Can you put it a bit bigger so maybe we can? Yeah, I think it's like a mix of two photos and then painted on top. I
I
don't really know.
think it's a mirror that they just wrote stuff on and photographed it
Okay.
in different locations.
Uh-huh.
Hold on a second. This looks like an electrical pole, and I can see it also here in this one.
Where?
This one here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a pole in the.
And someone is holding like a toy. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's very weird photo.
This one does feel indoor until you notice what's in the
Yeah.
mirror. What's next?
This one it's
This one
just
I
so
really
calm
like.
and nice.
Yeah.
Man sitting by the river.
This one again reminds me of
This-
Rodchenko.
And there's so much rhythm and so much like compositionally like deliberate take on it, you know, like
Yeah, I feel like Rodchenko did use a lot of like human figures as compositional elements,
Mhm.
and that's why this one reminds me like this figure and this figure. It's not anymore about the people in the frame. It's about how their shapes are in the frame.
Yeah. Mhm.
So you wanted to talk about this?
Yeah, because this when I was researching about Rodchenko, this photo, Robert Frank, when you put Robert Frank, you know that in Google you always get next to it like some photos and then a bit of info from the Wikipedia type of thing. And then it says like click here for more photos. This one is part of the 5 selected photo that comes out when you click, just type his name. So I was curious because when I didn't look at this photo, but I went to all the galleries, I read his biography, and I couldn't find this photo anywhere. So I remember, I saw this one black and white. I wonder why I don't see it in any of the...
There, so if you Google Robert Frank, it's right there.
Why I don't see this in any of the galleries, in any of the work? I thought that might be part of the Americans book or something like that, and I couldn't find it. And then I found this article that you were showing, which it turns out that it was all a hoax. So it's actually not a photo of him. It's by a guy. It's not by him. It's by another photographer, a guy that wasn't anything very famous or anything, and someone you can read actually if you put it a bit bigger and you read the text. The stolen picture, Sunday 2020. So 2020 is only like last year. Also, like this guy, he's like going around his Instagram and he realizes that this one account that has a lot of followers have posted this like Robert Frank Amsterdam. And that got retweeted or reposted by a lot of people. Like it ended up basically everywhere. So now it's always associated with Robert Frank. And then if you actually scroll down, he had a conversation with them, kind of. Like, look, 62,000 likes. And it was like, like shared everywhere. And then they wrote to him saying like, oh, you should be like kind of happy that you are confused by someone so famous or something like that. I was like, what? By the way, the photo was taken with a phone also. So that also tells you that it doesn't matter why you take photos. It's a very cool photo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Analog Club Amsterdam is watching us and saying one of our ACA members made this one.
Cool.
Oh, so that's cool. So this is what's happening. So we're talking about it because, like now it's out there as Robert Frank. And the owner, or I mean the author of this photograph is not really known or seen or like acknowledged anywhere. So here it's like a mistake from the beginning. Nobody means to steal your photo, especially if it's associated by a big photographer like that. In the worst case, you can take it as a compliment. I was like, what?
He wasn't so pleased with that explanation. Sure.
I mean, and then
it's a great photo to be honest. And from what we looked at now, it doesn't even look like a photo that's taken by Robert Frank.
That's the thing. Like I don't know who had that idea of doing that. And then it shows a little bit more like where it ended up everywhere. If you put Robert Frank, it shows
Pinterest.
up. If you put everywhere.
Yeah.
So and then they kind of talk a little bit about is it worth it to pursue, copyright owners and a little bit like.
Yeah, look, all of these accounts basically are reposting it as
Robert Frank.
Yeah.
So we want to set the record straight. If you see this photo out there. No, that is not Robert Frank. It's can you check the name of the photographer at the beginning?
I think it was
there it says.
Here?
Young, at the beginning, the first word, the first person.
Young.
Sao.
Sao or Cow?
Sao.
I'm not sure.
I had a colleague with that name, and she pronounces Sao, so maybe.
All right, so let's.
And the photographer is 100,000 something. The Instagram. No, 100,000 worth.
Let's pull him up.
Yes, giving a shout out.
There we go.
Yeah. Very nice work.
Yeah. I mean, you can see a correlation here of the work.
For sure. Can you go to the...
Oh, I already follow them.
Hey, nice. Can you see the one on the left there?
Where?
Up there.
Yeah, you like this one, don't you?
Yeah. And all of them, I actually should follow him for sure. He's based in Berlin.
Oh, this one is so cool.
Yeah, the lines. Oh, the lines. Oh, look at that one.
This one?
No.
Or this one?
No, left.
This one.
Yeah. Where is that?
Castillo.
That's in Spain.
De Belver.
The what? Sorry.
I can't read.
I'm gonna read it now. When you click it here in my YouTube, I will read it.
Here.
Belly
How did you read that Belliver? There is no E after
I know, Belver then.
Belver.
That's not Spain then.
Very cool work.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this one too.
It's very much in line with my wishes for photography.
How come Tim's name's not here?
Tim, what are you doing?
This is your cup of tea, bro.
For sure.
Very cool work. I want to see when he posted it. Just to be sure that we're talking about the right person and we're not confusing it again. Oh, these are so cool.
I mean, it kind of makes sense that it would be by this person, to be honest.
Yeah, the line, everything is so aligned and neat.
Oh, this is in Granada for sure, for sure.
Which one? This one?
No, down, middle, there.
This one?
Yeah.
Let's see. Nope.
No?
That's definitely not in Spain.
Where is it?
Let's see.
Oh, it kind of remind me a lot of one.
Well, it's I don't even know what that is. Nope. Yeah, I don't know where this is.
Porban Socro. Church of
Germany.
Redemir.
It's in Germany.
Germany, okay.
Should have guessed.
Oh, those lines are so good. Very nice work. Maybe we should invite him to tell us about his work.
For sure. I just want to find that photo. What year are
What's
we in now?
2020?
Yeah, we're still in February.
Of 2021?
Oh, snap.
Snap.
Let me see here. Okay, December. We're in the same year now. There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Black and white.
Really cool work.
Crazy that stuff like that. Oh, I like the colors on this one.
Yeah. It's a Polaroid.
Nope.
No? It's a Fuji?
I mean, why would you assume anything like that? Because of the framing?
No, the colors.
Okay. Well, I have no idea what this is, but I like it. It's and this one too. The hashtags are not saying anything.
No. It could be the phone, actually.
It
He
could be
takes
a
a lot of photos
Yeah.
with the phone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
It doesn't matter.
I have to say
That's
I
cool.
miss taking photos with
With-
my phone.
Me too. Actually, me too. I was looking at my BSCO portfolio. I was like, I miss just taking photos that I like with my phone.
Yeah.
You know, and we have these ones
This
here.
is the last video of the channel. We're gonna close it down. I'm putting down all of my analog cameras, going back to phone photography. For real, I really miss it. I've taken some really cool compositions. I don't know.
Somehow, I don't know why I don't see them anymore with my phone. I don't know.
I still see them. I just
Because sometimes I see something I like, I put on my phone and I don't like it.
Maybe you're not used to your new lens.
Yeah, that could be the thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Do
know.
you have a second lens for zooming?
No,
Yeah. You need a new phone.
thank you.
You're welcome. Anyways, I think that's about it for today. We
Well,
wanted to ask.
We wanted to ask the
ask a
people, now that
question.
we have like our watchers here. Guys, we need your help with
Yeah.
something.
So we posted a video about the giveaway thingy.
And
we
and
asked-
thank you for reposting, all of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we were wondering because we made the rules that you should be like and comment and subscribe, but there's no way for us to confirm
That they're subscribed.
Let me show you the inside of our YouTube studio.
Yeah, so we said like please like subscribe publicly, because there is a thing within YouTube Studio, which is that you can see who is publicly subscribed to your channel. When they comment, you get a little red thingy
Yeah.
next to it,
So and a lot of you guys, I know that you are subscribed.
even though we cannot see it from the back end,
Yeah.
because it doesn't show like you are a public subscriber,
So-
but we know you are because
Like
Yeah.
Lucia. So for example, Walid, he's with us right now. It shows that he's Shari. I know she's subscribed, but it doesn't show. And for a lot of other people, it doesn't know. So I think we're just not gonna care about.
the public subscribe,
The-
because
the
that's the
sub-
thing. Otherwise, we counted, and from the 40, 50 people that commented, there's like 10 that shows like that, and I
Yeah.
know that the other people are subscribed.
Yeah.
So I think we are.
So should,
If anyone has liked the comment and commented, we assume they are also subscribed.
yeah, we're just not gonna care about.
And we are gonna draw from those
We
people.
appreciate it if you do subscribe, but if you want to enter the giveaway, I guess be nice and subscribe. But we're not gonna. So when we do like next week, I think we're gonna do the draw.
No, then a week after.
Whatever when we do it.
Yeah, 3rd of August, in the episode on the 3rd of August.
So I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we do it that way, or should we just pick the winner, and then if they don't have that circle, we should pick another one? We thought we would ask you. I don't know. I think we
should just take everyone that commented, because
Right.
I'm sure that they are subscribed.
Yeah. So
I
don't
know of
I
many that
thought
I
maybe
know.
we should ask you. So I know there's like a 9 seconds delay
Yeah.
until you hear what we just said. So yeah, if you have any ideas, any thoughts, let us know. But other than that, I think that should cover it for today's episode.
Yeah, it was a nice one.
Yes,
What did you think in general about the work of Robert Frank? Did you enjoy it?
I really liked it. Yeah, it's really nice to have another like photographer from the past that I enjoy their work, and not just going over and over and over, because I wasn't familiar with Robert's
That's why
work.
I asked you.
So for me, that was a bonus to, I'm sure there's a lot of photographers that I'm not aware of that I would really like their style. So for me, I really enjoyed it. CM is agreeing with us that we should go with everyone. I agree. So we're gonna do it that way. Tim is saying pick me.
Tim,
well,
you already have one too many cameras. So
he does. He doesn't
no,
have so too
he
many.
doesn't have so many.
He
But he
doesn't
already
have.
has a Hasselblad. What else
That's
do you
true.
want?
Yeah.
I'm joking, Tim. You are in the drawing.
I pick you as my favorite guy in Amsterdam. How about that? But yeah, I think it was cool to look at Robert's work. For me, what did you think about it?
I really enjoy the photos, but apart from that, I think it's a beautiful story of how of perseverance, in a sense of just doing what you think it's worth doing, and then the work kind of speaks for itself in a way that he had a lot of people saying, no, this is not good work, what you're doing is nonsense, and it doesn't have any value neither in the society or in the arts. And then it proved to be completely the opposite. It really showed an America that it was true, it was real, it was raw, and then it was so influential for a lot of other photographers down the line. So do your thing.
I'm really happy. I mean, he passed away now, but I'm really happy that he did get recognition during his lifetime. He lived
To see it. Yeah.
which is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Because we talked about a lot of people who never got the recognition during their lifetime. So this is a nice silver lining, at least to his story. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again for another week. We really, really, really appreciate you joining us in the chat, informing us about a lot of things that we miss, and keeping the conversation fun. And let us your thoughts. Let us know about your thoughts maybe in the comments if you're watching this later. What did you think of the photos? And hopefully you can make it live next time. Other than that, I wish you all a very nice rest of the week. I almost said weekend.
I know. I was telling the other day someone that I finally feel like we have settled on the Tuesdays. It doesn't feel so weird anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right.
All habits die hard.
Yeah. So that's it. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next week.